Finding a final amount in a word problem on exponential growth or decay. A principal of $2,800 is invested at a 3.75% interest, compounded annually. How much will the investment be worth after 13 years? Use the calculator provided and round your answer to the nearest dollar. Alright, so first, because we see that this is compounded annually, we know we're going to be doing the compound interest formula. And if you don't have your notes in front of you, that's this formula right here. And I'll remind you in just a second what all of these letters mean. A is the final amount that we're looking for. That's this final amount here that the problem says. After 13 years, what's the final amount that we have? The P is called the principal, which is the original amount with what we started, a principal of $2,800. The 1 is just a 1. Now we're going to add for increase and subtract for decrease. So add for growth or subtract for decay. Now this is an investment, so we're putting money in and getting more money out. So we're definitely going to be choosing the plus here because we're growing. The R is the interest rate, but remember we're not going to put 3.75, we're going to put it as a decimal. The N is the number of times that we're compounding in a year. So how many times are we doing it in a year? Just once a year, so our N will be 1. And our T is the time in years, so that's 13 years. So just to remind you again, A is the final amount, which is what we're looking for. P is the original principal, which in this problem is $2,800. The 1 is a 1. We're going to add. The R is the interest rate here, but to write it as a decimal, we move that decimal point 2 places to the left, so it's 0.0375. So our R is going to be 0.0375. And then N is the number of times per year that it's going to be compounded. But because we're compounding annually, it's only going to be compounded once a year. So N is going to be 1. And last but not least, T is the number of years, which is 13. So basically, all we have to do is take this information from the problem and plug it into this formula. So I'm going to have A equals my principal P, so $2,800, times 1 plus, because we're growing, my R, which is 0.0375, there we go, divided by N, which is really just 1. So do I have to put that? No, but it doesn't hurt to. And then raise it to the N times T. So 1 times 13 right here is just 13. Okay? So now let's just simplify this a little bit before we use our calculator. So I'm going to have 1 plus 0.0375, which is really just this. You can check that on your calculator. Raised to the 13th power. Now I don't have an Alex calculator in front of me, but you can use any old graphing calculator. So here's mine. I'm going to do $2,800 times, parentheses, 1.0375 raised, that's this button right here to get that exponent with that little caret, raised to the 13th power, and I'm going to hit enter, and I'm going to round to the nearest dollar, because that's what the problem asked for. So after 13 years, if I put $2,800 in, after 13 years, I'm going to have a final amount of $4,518. Oh, round to the nearest dollar. So this 9 bumps the 5, which bumps the 8. So $19. So that's it. After 13 years of investing $2,800, I'm going to have $4,500. And that's all you do.